What's up everyone, I'm Twisted and today I'll be reacting to the flavor and artworks of the new cards that are coming out in the next variety set for Legends of Runeterra. Starting off with Artin, the Disgraced. Carnivore's dragons were once magnificent and respected, but even they were not safe from the all-consuming corruption of the ruination. Artin is no exception. His long-lost regality now twisted into the garish appearance of the Deathless. Interesting. As far as I know, there is no mention of dragons going to the Blessed Isles in the Ruination novel, and even recently, Smolder's bio, when it was released, mentioned dragons going there, but a couple days after, they updated it to remove that. It's just interesting to see that dragons were affected by the Ruination despite them not initially going there. There's definitely some context that we are missing here, or perhaps these are just victims of Viego after he woke up and the whole Sentinels of Light storyline happened, right? These could be just dragons that were recently ruined. Overall, this seems to be either support for Elder Dragon or maybe Viego and or Mordekaiser, so I don't think this is teasing any new champion. And now we have the Horn Swarm Collar. Despite its intimidating size, this swarm collar is rarely violent. When its swarm nears a Shuriman settlement, villagers will leave offerings of soft fruit in the nearby desert to distract their visitors from more important crops. Alright, so here we have a beetle dragon. That's an interesting concept. I've seen people saying that this might be teasing Rammus, but I really don't see why. This is another dragon that costs 6 mana, so probably just more Elder Dragon support and not really teasing any new champion. And now we have the prototype Bobot. It's just a prototype. The apprentice cried as flames engulfed the lab. I didn't program it to eat every gear in sight. I don't even know where all that metal is going. Alright, so this design is based off one of the Guardians, which I believe is called Extec Poro, and we can see here that the Porobot is eating a gear that is shaped exactly like a Porosnex. It even has the heart in the middle. There is another Porobot already in the game, but this doesn't seem to be related to it at all. Overall, I think this is just a support card for Jace, mostly because its region and effect just seem like something that would synergize with Jace. So again, I don't think this is teasing anything new. And here we have the Kashuri Swipe. This is in your best interest. Trust me, Lord Broadmane. So obviously we have here Lord Broadmane himself and the gauntlet that he stole from the Kashuri. Not much to it, definitely not teasing anything new. And now we have the Chain Caster. The Mage Seekers excelled at breaking people. They had bound his hands and his magic. They had taken his voice, but he had survived them before, and this time he had the Veiled Lady on his side. We can see here on the right the Ruby-Eyed Conjurer, and since this is a Targon follower and the flavor even mentions Morgana, I don't think this is teasing Silas. I think this is just another Morgana support card, or at least tied to Morgana in terms of narrative. I think that's obvious, so I don't think this is teasing anything new. Prancing Sea Spirits. During the right times of year, when the wind blows in over the sea, some Zonites swear they can see the faint impressions of two huge fin creatures dancing joyously with the ocean tides. Interesting. There's not that much to say about this card. This seems to be just some kind of water spirit that lives near Zon, which is interesting because in-game this is an Ionian card, and this isn't super uncommon, but it most commonly happens when a follower is tied to some kind of Runeterra champion. For example, Kane's followers are all in Ionia in their artworks, but their in-game regions are Demacia and Shurima, etc., because Kane is a Runeterra champion. So I'm not really sure if this is teasing something, or if this is just a support card for something, or just a new card that the team wanted to implement in the game. I certainly don't really see a specific synergy with a Zonite or Ionian champion. This seems to synergize with effects that buff followers in hand, and I don't think we have like a specific champion that really excels at that, so maybe this is teasing a new champion that is going to do exactly that, but for now I don't really think this is teasing anything new. And now we have the Bladebound Berserker. You think an arrow or two will stop me? Ha! Whatever you throw at me becomes a weapon in my arsenal. Whatever is lost, I will reforge in ice. Alright, so this is a really cool design, right? She has a true ice prosthetic arm with a blade attached to it. She has multiple arrows already stuck on her. Like, this is a really cool character. She seems to have some kind of electric powers, so she's either a shaman, which means that she could be a follower of Volibear. In terms of gameplay, I do think that this is supposed to be a support card for Udyr. At least in the Freljord, I can't really remember any other slow spell that targets a single ally besides the stances, but regardless if she is supposed to be a support card for Udyr or not, I don't really think that she's teasing any new champion. champion, unless maybe Olaf, but maybe that's stretching it a bit. But for now, I also don't think that this card is teasing anyone. And now we have Talon Strike. The Silver Wing Screech signals death from above. I also don't think that this is teasing anyone. It's just a support card for Demacian birds. Demacia is probably the region with the largest amount of birds, so if they are printing a bird spell, it makes sense to be for Demacia. I don't think there's much to say about this card. The artwork just depicts a claw of a silver wing, and unless they are considering a bird champion, I don't really see this being a teaser for a new champion. And now we have Shakram Dancer. She moves in a dance of water and blades, pulling steel from the royal of foam and spray. She need not to see to feel the flow of her weapons. They are water animate, and to water they must always return. Interesting. So a blind character? Nice. And she seems to have the power to make weapons out of water. That's cool. Obviously this is a member of Nila's crew, and we've actually seen this character, or at least someone who looks like this character, in the concept art of some of the artworks of other of Nila's followers, which is cool. There's also a spell in Piltover and Zone that has a character who sort of looks like her, but it's hard to tell. Legends of Runeterra sometimes is really inconsistent when it comes to designs of the characters, especially followers, so it could be the same character just with some design inconsistencies, or maybe it's a brand new character, similar to the Sea Spirits. Despite being in Zone, she is actually a Bilgewater follower, but unlike the Sea Spirits, I do think that makes sense for this character. All of Nila's followers are Bilgewater followers in-game, despite being at sea or at Bilgewater or wherever, so this doesn't really confuse me as much. I think it makes sense. But yeah, that's it for this character. Really cool design, really cool that she's blind and that she uses water to create weapons. That's cool. And here we have her skill, which is Flowing Shakram. Water takes shapes marad and wonderful. Shakram Dancer. Right, so here we have a better look at her design. Really cool. I really like the shapes of the weapons that she's conjuring, creating, I'm not sure. Overall, I must say that all of Nila's followers have some really cool designs. And finally, we have Sneaky Swap. Squawk? I don't know how to say that. Squawk? Obviously, in the artwork we see a Hellcat, but also you might have noticed that this Hellcat is wearing a hat, and this is the hat of Ember Monk, one of Canon's followers, and that's probably based on the effect of the card, which is Recall an Ally to summon a hungry Hellcat in its place. Canon and Recall, there's an obvious synergy there, and with the effect being to recall an ally to summon an hungry Hellcat, I think the context of the image is that the Ember Monk was recalled, whatever that might mean in universe, and now we see a Hellcat with its hat. And those were all the new cards that are going to be released. As far as I could tell, there are no teasers for upcoming champions, which is a shame, unless I obviously missed something. We know that the next set for Legends of Runeterra is going to be the last set as we know them. We know that the timeline of releases and even the releases themselves are going to be changing slightly over the upcoming months as the game transitions to a more PvE focused card game due to LOR being downsized again. So yeah, that was it. Let me know down below if I missed anything, if you think any of the new cards is teasing a new champion, or if there's just a detail that I could have mentioned but I didn't notice. Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.